The following podcast is recommended for mature audiences only. The following podcast is recommended for adults only. Maturity is not a requirement.
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Dear Download, a podcast where we get to share our most intimate and treasured memories of Download Festival. We'll talk about each year, the bands we saw, the bands we missed, and everything else noteworthy that happened across the weekend. Also, we'll touch upon any news, other festivals, and the music industry, past, present, and future. I'm Adam, and I'm here with Simon.
Good day to you, sir.
How's it going, buddy?
Yeah, good, mate. Good.
Good.
Hanging a little bit, but
Hang in.
I'm all right. The voice is good, so that's all that matters.
Good. That's something I wanted to touch on a bit later, actually. I think I'm going to have to keep you on a short leash because I know you'll be. Oh, what's the right word? I know you'll be raging. Not raging. That's not the right word.
Raging. What am I raging at? What am I raging at?
Raging to talk about the pilot. That's not the right word.
Oh yeah. I'm ready to erupt.
There's a few things we need to go over first because we just won't go back to them. So if we try and keep the structure, that'll be cool. So how have you been other than having an amazing time at the Download pilot since we last recorded? How have you been, man?
Yeah, good. Work's been all right. Standard stuff. I had a health and safety audit on Friday, so that was scary. But my office passed, so my boss should be happy with me. So that was fine. Yeah, and apart from that, I've just been watching pretty much all the Euros, as much football as I could possibly get in.
Yeah.
And that's literally all I've been doing. That's
cool.
It. Apart from the thing we'll talk about later, I have done nothing else. That's it. Worked, watched football, gone to bed, worked, watched football, gone to bed. That's it.
Cool. Yeah, we watched a bit of it.
I'm hyped for England-Germany on Tuesday. I'm going to be buzzing. Like, normally I watch football with the missus, but she's not that into it, but she'll watch it if I'm watching it.
Yeah.
But she's going out, so it's just going to be me in face paint, England shirt, absolutely pissed out my nut, singing and throwing things at the TV. So that should be quite fun. I'm going to enjoy myself.
That sounds like me and my girlfriend, actually, but the other way around. She's the crazy about football one, and I'm just like, I'll watch it if it's on. I have been enjoying the Euros, though. Yeah,
it's been great. It's been a really good tournament. I think the thing people have enjoyed the least is England. Everyone's enjoyed the rest of the tournament instead of England for a change. But it's been awesome. It's been really good. I love it when there's this much football on. It's like we're just being treated too much. And plus we've got the World Cup next year as well. It's just like, just too much football. I love it.
Yeah, because it's crazy because we're currently watching the Euro 2020 in 2021.
Why did they not? I never knew why they didn't change it. It's not twins. That's just going to confuse people. You know, when they look back in like 30 years, obviously this will be remembered, but not necessarily remembered as closely as we remember it for people then. So then they're going to look at 2020, but then they're going to go on Wiki or whatever, and they're going to be like, wait a minute, it happened in 2021. I don't know. There's a reason. There probably is a reason, but I haven't read up to it, but I thought that was stupid.
Yeah. Cool.
What have you been doing, sir, since the last time? I don't want to make it all about me.
There's a couple of things I want to talk about. One thing from before the last episode, actually, but it was so cool, I needed to say it. We didn't really have this bit in the first one because we couldn't really go like, how have you been doing since before the first episode? Since birth?
Yeah, since birth. How have you been? Tell me your entire life story.
Yeah, but there's one story that I've remembered that I need to say, so it might be a little bit lengthy, but stick with me because it's cool. So my girlfriend usually puts my son to bed, and she usually sings him a couple of songs. To start with, she was just singing like nursery rhymes that we've seen on TV. I didn't know that, and she went out one night, and so I took him up to bed, and I was trying to sing, and I was like, I don't know what songs you want me to sing. And he was crying. My daughter was crying downstairs. It was a mess. So, that wasn't too cool. So the next time I put him to bed, she had changed it and was singing just random other songs. So I was like, yeah, that's cool. I can do that. So I took him up to bed, and I said, "What song do you want me to sing?" And he said, "Can you sing Mad World?" So I was like, "All right, yeah, I'll sing Mad World." I got the lyrics up on my phone, and then he said, "Can you sing Slipknot?" And I was like, What Slipknot song is your mum singing to you?"
5, 5, 5. Then I'm 6, 6, 6. Why are you singing to my children?
Yeah. The only one that came to mind at the time was Disaster Pieces, so I sang it really, really quickly so he couldn't pick up on any other words. But yeah,
That's
no,
great.
I couldn't believe it. I wasn't sure if that's what he said to start with. I was like, what did you say? Slipknot? I was like, yeah, I couldn't believe it. That was quite funny, though.
Did you find out what song she was singing to him?
It was Snuff,
Oh,
but I don't
okay.
really know that one.
Yeah, it's a slow one, so it's probably much easier to sing than Disaster Pieces.
Yeah. I got a couple of my own songs that I sing to him now. I sing Chad Kroger featuring Josie Scott, Hero.
Oh, yeah.
He loves Spider-Man, so I thought, I'll sing him that one. And
Nice. Big tune.
not that I'm that good at singing, but he's 3, so he doesn't know any different. And I usually sing Bon Jovi always. And usually after, I'm like, I really want to know, I want to learn how to sing properly now, so I can sing that well to him, but the next day I've forgotten and just don't look up any videos or because I suppose it's normal. I mean, you sing, don't you? I suppose it's just practicing, just keeping in tune
over and over again. I think, yeah. I mean, there's some people that don't have a great voice and they go to vocal coaches and they get taught how to sing properly and they can become a really good singer. So it's all technique to do with singing. But like you said, if it's a kid, it's fine. But he's getting some absolute bangers sung to him. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Some absolute bangers.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was it, I think. Anything else happened? My daughter is self-isolating at the moment. She's like 11 months. She's not allowed to leave the house. We're allowed, but she's not. So
she's not allowed. Oh, okay.
No, there was a positive case in her nursery bubble. So thankfully, she hasn't had any symptoms yet. But I had to test my son this morning. That wasn't very fun. He's almost 4. And,
do you have to get the kids to do the same thing that we have to do with a swab?
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
People probably want to hear this, but before the pilot, we had to do the tests. I puked in my sink.
Did you?
I accidentally made myself a little bit, only a little bit.
Yeah.
I was literally just, they tell you to get it right at the back. You got to get it right there. I was doing it, and I must have just hit something, and it was just too much. And then Vicky ran out the room like, "Oh, you're disgusting."
Yeah. I've got a really bad gag reflex, and I'm normally hacking a little bit when I do it. It's not fun. But yeah, I did Soren's tonsils, and I asked to put it up his nose, and he was like really upset and crying, and he was like, "I'm not ill." I felt awful. Yeah, it was horrible.
Do you know what? That's reminding me of something. I just think you have weird things when you're a kid, because I remember my mum trying to give me like a paracetamol.
Yeah.
And I was so terrified of swallowing a pill, I would not do it at all. Now, I can just swallow them without even drinking water.
Really?
Yeah, literally just straight in the mouth, straight swallow. I don't even need to drink anything when I do it. But as a kid, I would bawl my eyes out, roll around on the floor. Your parents would basically have to force the pills down your throat. Like, that's how bad it was.
Yeah.
So I think kids are just weird about stuff like this. I mean, it's not nice. We don't want to do it either. I didn't mind the nose. I didn't actually mind the nose as much as the back of the throat. That was way worse. The nose bit wasn't too bad.
It was before I did the nose bit, and he obviously didn't enjoy it in the back of his throat, so he didn't want any more. He's like, "I'm not ill." "Oh, I know you're not." I was pretty sure he wasn't, but he had to do it just in case. Yeah. But yeah, so that was fun for me. Well, was that this morning? I think it was this morning. Jesus Christ, it's been a long day.
How was your roast? What was your marks out of 10 for your own roast? Today?
So yes, I made a roast this afternoon for anybody. I didn't. That's all I did. I don't know if you're thinking of any other kind of roast, but it was the gravy makes it a 10 out of 10.
Oh wow, a 10 on 10.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a big score, man.
Your reaction is making me think I'm blowing my own horn a little bit too much there. But
I don't know, like I've had a lot of roasts in my time, and Mum's definitely pulled out some 9.5s without a doubt, but I'm not sure I've ever had a 10 before. If you can make a 10, I'm coming to your house, man, and we're going to roast it up because that sounds incredible.
Oh no! Now you're making me doubt myself too much now. Damn it!
I'm so coming round, and I'm going to judge it. I'm going to be like, right, I'm going to give this guy scores. I want to see if this is a 10.
All right, let's do it then.
That's big.
I will accept the challenge. I wouldn't back down from it.
Yes.
And we'll see how it goes.
Oh, that's great.
Cool. Is there any other news other than Download Pilot for this?
I'm trying to think if anything else has happened. I don't think so. No, not too much has happened apart from the one major thing that we're going to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of people announcing tours since the pilot. I think.
Yes, good point. Yeah, that's good. It's great to see, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I think Bullet put up some dates, and I was like, and then Bring Me the Horizon put up some dates, and I was like, there was a few where I was like, okay. I'm just thinking, let's hope that July happens, and then all these things will go ahead, and then I might start buying some tickets. But at the moment, I think probably a lot of people are just holding off, just going, just wait a little bit, a couple of weeks, and we'll see what the crack is.
Yeah, I haven't really had any tickets that have had to be cancelled, so I don't know how much of a hassle it is when that happens. But have you experienced that?
Yeah, I had Incubus tickets and 2000 Trees tickets, and they were. But I rolled over the 2000 Trees tickets, but the Incubus tickets were cancelled. That sucked, but it was fine. They just send you the money and say, sorry, there's the cash. It comes in like a week or something, so it's not too bad actually. But like you said, booking one and then just having it cancelled again is annoying. So you might as well just wait a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
they're not likely to sell out unless it's a big tour. So, but yeah, I'm happy, man. I can't wait for other bands to start announcing stuff. I can't wait to go and see stuff in some tiny little venues again. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I to be honest, I don't really go to many gigs other than Download. There's just not really a lot around me, and I don't really want to drive somewhere because then I can't drink. I do enjoy it.
What's the closest place to you that does gigs, like big gigs?
Probably Bristol, or I don't know if Exeter has many anymore.
Well, I mean, obviously I'm in Cheltenham, so we go to Bristol for a lot of gigs. It's only, it's like 45 minutes, 50 minutes away from us, so it's a good place to go for shows, except you have to drive.
Yeah, we could probably get there in probably about the same amount of time, actually.
We are literally just opposite sides of Bristol, literally just like that. Yeah.
But, I mean, with the kids now as well. Well, no, I can't use the kids as an excuse. I didn't go to that many before we had them. I just treat Download as like a holiday every year. And, there's not...
Well, it's like we've said before, Download sounds expensive. But if you were to add up all the money you would pay to see each of those bands, even if you see 5 bands, it's worth the money because the amount you would pay to see those bands individually would get up to your ticket. So if you saw like 10 bands in a weekend, you're laughing because you've definitely got your money's worth.
Yeah.
So it's actually good to do. Because like you said, it's like you're cramming 15 gigs into one. You don't need to see anyone else throughout the year because you've just got all your gigs in like one weekend.
Yeah. And this is actually going to tie in quite nicely to the next bit because there's probably very few bands that I would actually travel to see. Mostly bands that I've never seen before, bands that I've always wanted to see, which will lead us into the question that brought us together because we said that in episode 1 that we were gonna visit that question and talk about it a bit, and then we forgot that we even said that.
Completely forgot about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So so I thought that's going to be the first thing we should discuss this episode.
Yeah, sure. I think it's because we were just excited last time. We were just going, first episode, yeah. And then we were like, oh, damn, we were supposed to talk about something. We missed it.
Yeah.
So, let's do it, man.
Cool. Yeah, so the question that you asked on Reddit that I sort of, I don't comment on much on Reddit at all, but like I saw that and I was like, I have to respond. The first question that you asked was, So what bands have never played Download that definitely should?
What a question. I'm a legend.
Yeah.
And you responded. Yes,
Yeah.
I reeled you in. Reeled you in, man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think one of the reasons why I did respond and why I could answer this question quite well is because I have been to all of them. And there are still bands that I want to see that have never played. So it was kind of easy to answer for me. So one of the main bands is Saliva. I've always said for a long time they have been like my second favourite band after Iron Maiden. And they haven't been over here since 2001.
Whoa.
They did book a tour, I want to say about 4 years ago. And I was tempted to go and see them as many times as I could on that tour. But I think they cancelled it in the end, which was pretty gutting. But yeah,
That's a long time for a band not to come over.
Yeah, they toured with Stone Sour in 2001, and I thought about going. I was actually on holiday with a few friends from school at that point, and I couldn't drive, so I knew my dad had to drop me to the holiday destination. I think the gig was on a Wednesday, so he'd have to come and pick me up, take me to the gig, and then drop me back there. And I knew I was playing. I used to be okay at bowling, tenpin bowling, so I was in like a national tournament in Nottingham that weekend. So I was like, I'm not going to expect him to pick me up, take me back, and still go to Nottingham at the weekend. So I thought I'll just catch them next time they come over. They haven't been over since. Bastards.
Oh my lord, that is the worst. Oh, it's cool, man. See him next year. Nope.
Yeah. Oh,
dude.
Annoying.
I feel so sad now.
Yeah.
That's so sad. But well, I mean, there must be some reason why they haven't come over in that long. Surely. Did they have a hiatus or anything?
No, they've kept going.
They just kept going.
Yeah.
So there's just no reason why they haven't come over. Weird. And you would have thought bands, play in the UK. It's like a must if you're a band and you're going overseas, of course.
I don't think I know many people who are actually into them over here, though. So maybe they've just they never really took off here. I don't know.
You get a few bands like that. I'd say the same for that, but I've seen them a few times now, is 3 Days Grace. They're, huge in America, but they very rarely came over here over the years. But then luckily we got to see them twice in like 2019 and 18. But they were similar. There'd be year spots where they just wouldn't come over and play in England. But it's probably because they're not actually that popular here. So yeah, you're probably right when it comes to that.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's not many bands that I can think of that would fit the same thing. I can't think of the right word there. But another one. What was the other one? Oh, yeah. I think I might have read the question a bit wrong, because another one I thought of was when I responded to you was Story of the Year, and they've actually split up now, as far as I'm aware. I think. So bands that have never played that definitely should. They wouldn't really come under that question.
Oh, is anyone in the band dead? Is there a possibility of them getting back together? Because if there is, that means there's always a chance they could play.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah.
Because I think after this last year, some people might need the money. They might need to get back together and start touring.
Yeah, definitely. And one band that I didn't say to you, but they definitely should, is Blink-182. And after the news of Mark Hoppus, I can definitely see them sort of all making up and going, let's forget about the past and let's go and tour again. So
yeah, that's on my list. Blink.
Yeah, awesome.
Definitely very odd how I've seen them at Reading and other places, but never at Download. Very strange. Yeah. It's like the perfect crowd for it.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Green Day come under the same.
It's another one I've got as well. Exactly the same. Why not? And you could argue that Green Day at points were far bigger than Blink were. I mean, they could have headlined Download no problem.
Yeah.
But I think that comes down to a lot of stuff that a lot of the bookers from Download have said before, and Andy Copping said, is it's got to be right time, right place, right money, if they want to do it, what cycle they're in. Are they on an end of tour cycle? Are they on a beginning of tour cycle? Do they want to promote a new album? Are they going to want to go into the studio and write another one? Like he said there's so, especially mainly for headliners, there's so many factors in, and that's why
Yeah.
some bands just fall perfectly into those factors, like Maiden and ones that have played multiple times, like Linkin Park played loads of times. I think they just had that sort of thing where other bands do it slightly differently. So I think
Yeah.
bands like Green Day, and I could imagine they're not cheap.
No.
They won't be cheap because God knows how much Guns N' Roses got paid to play, and you'll be looking at similar numbers for Green Day or Blink or anyone in that sort of ilk. So yeah, probably a lot of factors going into it. But it is weird when you look at it just on the surface. You're like, how have these bands never played? It's been going since 2003.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
mental.
Yeah. And a lot of these bands have also been going since 2003 or earlier. It's like crazy. Yeah.
How have they not done it? Shall I run through a couple more that I've got just to add on to those?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, so I had those two, which is a very good point. The Misfits.
Yeah.
The Misfits, probably one of the most iconic bands, well, certainly for me and for all the people in the goth punk world. They've never played Download. And I know they've been in various forms, but since 2017, they've got Glenn Danzig back. So they're kind of like the old Misfits, and now they're headlining all of these shows in America. They're playing like all these rock festivals.
Yeah.
So now there's more of a chance of them possibly playing Download, but I'm still surprised, even in the sort of other forms they were in, that they never played. Because I mean, they could be second stage headliners easy, no problem. That will draw people in because they never play. So
yeah, I can't say that I know much about the Misfits. Are they British or American?
No, American.
American.
Yeah, like horror punk stuff. So they sing about, old horror movies and stuff like that, and just it's a bit of fun, but also awesome. One of my favorite bands, like of all time. I bloody love them. There's a couple of Misfits things you can already see. Look, that's some Misfits.
I can see the skull. Yeah,
some Misfits incense.
Yeah,
smells like dead bodies.
Awesome.
It doesn't really. It smells quite nice. And the other ones I had was obviously another blatant one, which has been missing, is Foo Fighters. Again, but I can imagine that they charge a lot of money to play. They will probably be more expensive than getting Guns N' Roses. So I can understand probably why they haven't been booked. But
yeah, everyone says he's the nicest guy in rock, though. He should do it for free if he's that nice. Right?
True, that's true. I mean, yeah, he should. I mean, they played Download France.
Did they?
Yeah,
Okay.
they did in like 2017. So they've done a Download, not the Download. But again, that's one for the future. They're not going anywhere. They're still making albums.
Yeah.
I honestly think that one day Foo Fighters will headline Download Festival. I'm just surprised it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, me too.
What else have I got? Queens of the Stone Age, as far as I know, haven't played. I didn't look for all the lineups, but I'm sure they would have stuck out like a sore thumb to me. So I could be wrong on that one. But
feel like I've seen them.
Ah, okay. Maybe they have. Maybe I should have looked through that was anyone I wasn't sure about. Where I'm like, have they played? I don't know. Maybe they have. All right. Well, if you can't remember, then they definitely need to play again.
Yeah, definitely.
So there you go. Yeah, we need to get those. Another one is, I know, obviously, Freddie Mercury died a long time ago, but Queen are still playing live shows.
Yeah.
And they headlined Sonisphere?
No, they were booked to headline Sonisphere. That was the one that was cancelled.
That's the one.
I was looking forward to that because Adam Lambert is amazing.
Oh, yeah. Really good singer. Really good. And I know he's great. Everyone knows he's not Freddie, and it is basically karaoke. He's just singing the songs really well and kind of making them his a little bit. But at Download, dude, that would be awesome, man.
Yeah.
That would be. I would be buzzing for that. I'm a huge Queen fan.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
Me too. Yeah, I love Queen.
Oh, yes. Good. Another band we agree on.
Yeah. Well, you probably seen my Instagram. I think I added you or followed you on Instagram.
Yeah.
And like all of my life, I've got these big teeth at the front. And all of my life, people have been saying I look like Freddie Mercury. So I did dress up as him maybe like 7-8 years ago now. And even my brother didn't recognize me as I looked so much like Freddie Mercury. So like my teeth came in handy for something. But yeah, like, oh, it was good.
Tonight,
I
Matthew.
do look like him.
Adam's going to be.
I can't. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I can't
That's
sing.
awesome.
I can't sing, but
That's awesome. We will now have to post that picture on our Facebook
yeah, cool.
because people are definitely going to want to see that.
Yeah, I'm actually in a dressing room as well, so it looks like it was backstage
dude.
somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah, we need to get this photo on the socials, man. We need to see it. Yeah, so definitely Queen. And the other big one, but I heard some people say that through the grapevine, or they think it was a joke, but they're not sure. Andy Copping saying he's booked these guys to headline 2023, and it's Nickelback.
Really,
Yeah. Well,
really.
an absolutely huge band. How they've never played Download that's mind blowing in itself. They sell
Yeah.
stadiums out for God's sake.
Yeah,
They're major, and there's always that thing. Well, there's not a thing. It's the same thing with Coldplay. People hate, but they don't actually listen. They just say that. It's like when people can say, "I hate Coldplay." Oh, do you? What Coldplay songs do you know? Why do you hate them again? They just hate them for the sake of hating them. It's the same with
Yeah.
Nickelback. Nickelback are a sick band. This is my view. Some absolute bangers as well. But again, headlining Download, I would be buzzing for that. And it's something different. People always saying, "Oh man, every year it's Maiden or System or thing." So then start booking some different bands, and then people won't moan. You can't moan if it's Nickelback. They've never
No.
played Download before.
yeah, that's interesting. I'm curious how that will go. I don't mind Nickelback. I'm not one of these people who say I hate Nickelback.
Well, you can if you've listened to it and you say, "I don't, it's okay," or "I don't mind it," or "It's not really for me," that's fine. That's no problem. But you can't say you hate something just because you don't like it. That's like so stupid. It's fine to say, "No, Nickelback, they're all right. Yeah, cool, whatever."
I mean, I have said it about Foo Fighters. But, but I mean, I've never really fully meant it. I think I read something a while ago saying like expressing hatred towards something is not an excuse for a personality. And I was like, that's a good point. And I do like some Foo Fighters songs, but I have always said musically, Foo Fighters are no better than Nickelback.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
That's
I
fair
don't
enough.
mind either of them.
Yeah, no, they're big mainstream bands, but these are the sort of bands you have to have headlining festivals.
Yeah.
Simple as that. That you need a draw.
I think it was more because, or mostly because I thought Foo Fighters were overhyped, and it bothered me that everyone hated Nickelback for the sake of it. And I was like, it's two extremes that it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I just went the other way. I was like, nah, I hate Foo Fighters.
Oh, that's great. Oh man, I'm just gonna hit you up with just Foo Fighters playlists now. No, I'm joking. I wouldn't do that to you.
Yeah, no, like I said, I don't mind. I do quite like some of their songs. Yeah, I loved the
Yeah.
first one that they released was like Breakout, wasn't it? And I absolutely loved that one. And there's been a few since.
Yeah, there's a couple of Foo Fighters albums that I love all the way through, but then there's a few where I just pick from where I'm just like, that's good. I don't like that, not too much. And
Yeah.
I've kind of been picking from their last few, so they got some absolute bangers. But yeah, I don't think they make a solid album every time. They're not one of my favourite bands, but I could easily make a 25 to 30 song playlist from Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
Easily. So that probably means that you like quite a lot of the band stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
But it would be something different. They've never played before. It would be a huge draw because they're a huge band. They're supposed to be excellent live.
yeah, I bet they are. Yeah.
And Dave Grohl is a rock legend, and we need rock legends to play Download to keep the ethos and the thing going of this is a legendary rock festival.
Yeah.
You don't have the legends play. What's legendary about it?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's just a field where legends played 20 years ago. So yeah, it's cool, man. There's probably loads more that I could think of. We'll have to. Do you know what I'll do? I'll think of more, and then next week we'll do like a quick little bit where I'm like, there's some bands. I'll reel them off quicker than this. We'll be like bands that haven't played Download, and we'll just reel them off real quick. Or good band. Good band. Good. We'll just do that instead.
There was one other one that I responded to your question on Reddit with. Another one I didn't respond with was Red Hot Chili Peppers. They would be fucking insane. download.
Oh, dude, yeah, Chili's, man.
Yeah.
I didn't even think. Why did I not think of that? That's a good point. That's very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
so many
I've
good
heard
songs.
I've heard mixed things about them live.
Oh, okay, really? Okay.
Well, people just saying that Anthony Kiedis basically just can't sing live,
Right.
or he can't sing very well. But from
Yeah.
what I've heard, their kind of energy and what they play obviously is awesome because they're an awesome band. So
Yeah.
that's good. But I've heard that his energy is good, but he's not actually a great live singer. But sometimes you can make up for that by having a good show and good songs. So it doesn't really matter too much. So but dude, I'd be down. If someone said Chili's, I'm down for that, man. Hell's yeah.
Yeah. And the other one, just quickly before we leave this topic, is Halloween. They've been one of my all-time favorite bands.
Yeah.
They played Monsters of Rock loads of times. Well, at least once. I think more than once. And they're still going. They've just released a new album. They released an album 5 years ago, which I must have played 100 times. You know, it's not like they've lost it, but they've never played Download.
That's weird. That is weird. That's another one that is strange.
Yeah, and another one that I actually had tickets to see. I'll touch on this more when we get to like the 2006, but I was in a pretty serious car crash about a month before it, so it didn't happen. But I remember I was in. Like I said, I'm going to try and keep this positive, but a bit of a funny story of when I was in intensive care. I woke up and the nurse who sort of was there. I was talking to her about the gigs I was going to go to. It was going to be Halloween. We were going to see Soulfly, and she was like, "Oh, Soulfly are touring. I'll be back in a minute." And I went to the computer. I think she phoned her boyfriend or whatever. And she came back and was just like, "I've just booked Soulfly tickets." I was like, awesome. I barely remember it because I was on lots of drugs. But yeah, that's one thing I do remember. It was quite funny.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. But
well, you just said car crash and intensive care. So I'm sure we're going to have to revisit this at some point.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was 2006. I still managed to get to download 2006. It wasn't great. It's not, like I said, it's not that much of a positive story. Maybe after the outcome of it is positive. But like I said, we'll touch on it more in 2006 when we get there.
She got Soulfly tickets, so she got something out of it.
Yeah. I missed Halloween, and I've never seen them since.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, like, the same as Saliva, I guess. Really, you know, we were definitely going to go and see them, and then I've just never. I think they have played over here since, but I've never got round to going to see them, so I've still never seen them. It's gutting.
Oh man, that sucks. But yeah, still a chance though. Still a chance. They could still play. Like you said, Halloween could still play.
Yeah.
Saliva could still play.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully, all these next year on the bill. Misfits. Blink-182, Halloween, yes!
Yeah. Do you know, that's one thing I don't think I've ever seen. I'm sure somebody's done it, but people try and make up these like mock-ups of lineups before it's announced, don't they? And I'm not sure if I've seen one that's like only bands that have never played, because I bet that will still be quite a good lineup.
Dude, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I'll do one. I made one, but what I done was I done it to see how many I got right for the next year. Yeah, so I was like, put it on, and I was like, I put all of mine. I thought, I was looking and going, right, they're touring around that time. They'll be able to play. They're headline, blah, blah, blah. And I done like a full lineup and still only got about 10 right.
Really?
It is really difficult to try and predict.
Yeah.
And, you know, you'll find out a few weeks before because you'll be like, oh, that's a sign. But I done it like a month before, so I had no sort of real time to guess, like from people's Facebooks and stuff. I just kind of guessed who's bringing an album out, who's got this and that, and put it in, and I only got about 10 right. One headline, I got Maiden right. So I was like, yes, got a headliner. And the other, I think I had Metallica and Bring Me the Horizon, so that was wrong straight away. So I was just like, oh damn.
Well, I suppose it's only the main stage that you can guess, and maybe the top 2 or 3 on the other stages. Like pretty much all the other bands on the smaller stages you've never heard of before, or not many of them. Generally,
do you know what? I think I must be just becoming one of those weird people that just like only follow small bands now, because I seem to spend most of my time on the 3rd and 4th stages when I go to Download.
Really?
Like, yeah, it's so strange. Like before, I'd be, you know, always on the 1st and 2nd thinking, oh no, I don't know any of the bands or whatever. Yeah, but now I'm at third and fourth a lot more than I was before, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, that's
I think
cool.
that's just because I'm listening to more new music.
Yeah.
I'm really like going through and going, oh, they're sick, man. I'll go check them out.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Well, that's all the bands I had. Shall we move on? What's next? Pilot. On the list is the Pilot Festival. You want to?
The Payload.
I'll just sit down and shut up for about half an hour.
No, come on. I need you to ask me I need you to ask me questions so I can answer them. So, right.
Oh, okay.
So first of all, we'll just start off that. Yes, I went to the Download Pilot, and yes, it was awesome. It was strange, but nice. It was sort of unfamiliar and familiar all at the same time. I think if other people were there as well, they could sort of vouch for that. It was very strange just because of what's happened in the world.
Yeah.
And being back at a festival and having no restrictions and having bans, but then also being on the Download site, but not where you were before. It was all just very like, this is really weird. When you got there, there was so much stuff going through my head like, oh my God, where am I on the site? Okay,
Yeah.
That's normally there. That's normally there. Oh my God, what the hell's happening? And then it took me a while to like adjust. And then we had kind of a walk round and I'd be like, right, I know exactly where I am now. So
Yeah.
that bit was really sort of overwhelming. Probably not for people. I mean, I met so many people and I said, hey, yeah, you enjoying the festival? Yeah, sick. Oh, it's my first time. There was so many first timers there. And I think it's because people just wanted a festival. It was a lot more... I'm saying, listen, Download is for everyone. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you're into, what you look like, whatever. But I would say that this is the year where some people looked like not your typical Download people because I think people just wanted a festival.
Yeah.
So you had a really different mix of people and styles than I say you would normally have at Download.
Yeah.
I'm your typical Download Grebo, spot me a mile off. He's definitely a downloader.
Yeah.
But these people, I was like, they could go to any festival because they don't look necessarily alternative. But they, everyone still looked like they had a fantastic time. But it was just weird, the crowd where people were just like, yeah, I just want a festival. What's that Download? Never been. We'll just go anyway.
Yeah.
I think it was that kind of thing.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
So so you did you did a vlog, didn't you, about it, and stuck up on YouTube. I watched all of that, so I got a bit of an idea of the layout and sort of what it was like. So hopefully, I can ask you some good questions.
Yeah, fire away. Ask me.
No, my mind's just gone blank. I did have some good questions for you.
All right. Okay. Well, I'll keep talking, and then you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll just run through the quick phases. Okay. So first of all, you had to do a PCR test and a lateral flow test. Then you had to do the little QR code on that once you'd done it, and get the negative result back, and get the government text. So you take that in with your ID to obviously show it was you, and your ticket, and then you'd go in and get a wristband. But obviously the strange thing this time is the camping was so close. And if you watch my vlog on YouTube, I could stand up because first of all, we could sit down and see the stage. Then someone put a bloody giant tent in the way.
Yeah.
So if we stood up and moved to the left, I could literally see the main stage. I could hear it perfectly from my tent. I could have watched all the bands from there and not even moved. It was so surreal. And the location where the main stage is normally, it was kind of slightly over to the left. And obviously because it was a bit smaller. But we were literally camping on the hill where you would normally stand and watch the main headliner. And they fit the entire festival just in what is normally the arena, which shows you how giant Download normally is and how small this one was. It was just in the arena bit. All the camping, all the bands, all the rides, all the stalls in that one bit. It was mind-blowing. It gave me more of a weird sense of scale. So what I done was I stood in one place and I took a photo to the left, a photo to the right, a photo there, all photos all round. So next year I can go and stand and find the exact place where I camped in the arena.
Awesome.
So I can line it up with the trees because I had like
triangulating
tree lines. Yeah.
Where you were, yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I can stand there and go, I camped exactly here last year, and it will be in the arena, which will make it even more crazy. So I can't wait to do that next year. That'll be fun.
Will be insane. Yeah, that'll be very cool. Talking about the tests you had to do, because you said that you you were playing with the band last night, and you obviously sing. Did it affect your throat? Because my throat felt like shit all day. Because I had to do one last night. I was just yeah. So I thought about you when it was like that, and I was like, it feels like I want to cough a lot. Doing the test, it feels like it's given me this cough.
I was already in full hay fever mode, so it didn't make any difference to me at all. I was sneezing, coughing, scratching my eyes. Yeah, my hay fever was... When I got there, because it wasn't... Well, I still got sunburnt. It wasn't hot. It rained a little bit, but my hay fever was not bad while I was there, luckily. But yeah, it didn't affect my voice too. I mean, my voice was knackered when we got back.
Yeah.
Because I'd missed singing, to live bands so much. I'd sung every single song that I could. And then at the end of my vlog, I'm like, oh, that was a really great festival. Oh, wicked. So my voice was just gone.
Yeah.
But it was worth it. It was worth all the shouting and the singing, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, the testing, I said before, the testing made it weirdly stressful. Normally the morning of download, you're just like buzzing. You're just like, oh my God, it just can't get any better than this. But you had to take a test.
Yeah.
And if it was positive...
You had to send it off, didn't you?
Yeah. It's like one you send in the post,
yeah,
and the other one you do by the QR code.
Right.
So they send you all that stuff, and then you do one afterwards.
Yeah.
And then obviously they'll collate the results. But I spoke to someone the other day, which brought up a good point, right? If everyone there is negative, what's the point in the test?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you've got a load of negative people, you're obviously going to have negative results. So if someone is... Surely that means they would have let positive people go as well, because the whole point of the Pilot Festival was to test the rate of infection.
Yeah.
If there's all negative results, there's going to be no infection.
No. But I mean, obviously there would have been people who only caught it the day before doing the test, and it's not going to show up. So,
yeah, that's true. There would have been someone in there with it. Not necessarily symptom. They could have been completely symptomless.
Yeah.
But they could have passed it on to someone else.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to ask you actually as well. What do you record with your vlogs? Do you have just
literally
your phone?
My phone?
And do you have like a little
phone,
microphone to go on it? Because the sound was awesome.
No, dude, it's just the phone. Literally, I've bought cameras. I do some shots on my GoPro. I do all that, but nothing is as good as that iPhone. The camera back and front is fantastic, and the microphone is brilliant. Listening back to some of the I only put short bits in the video because I hate when people do vlogs and they go, I'm at download, and then it's half an hour of filming the bands. Just note to everyone out there, if you're going to do a vlog, only do short clips of the bands, because people will switch off your video.
Yeah.
Because they weren't there for the experience. You want to give people a little taster and then get out. And I like to do it more like a report, where other people obviously just sort of mess around a lot more. Like there's these guys that are famous for doing vlogs called TPD TV.
Oh,
they're fantastic.
Them, yeah.
But it can grate on you a little bit when they're literally it's just them pissed all the time.
Yeah.
Which is great, but sometimes you're like, I kind of want a bit more info. I kind of want someone to walk around and tell me what's actually happening, rather than just watch 6 drunk blokes the entire time. I still love their videos, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it is a bit grating.
Yeah.
I think I get the same thing when people film the bands for too long. Just film talk about it. Talk about how much fun you're having. Go around and film some crazy stuff. You don't have to film half an hour of the bands and then just put that on YouTube. But people still get hits doing that, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to do it, that's the way you want to do it.
Yeah, like I said last week, I'm definitely going to try and look out for more stuff like that, and I did come across them, and I turned their I'm not sure what year it was, but I definitely turned it off pretty quickly. I can't remember why, but it just, like I said, I think just every little bit just dragged out a little bit too long. They could have made it 10 minutes shorter and made each section shorter, and it would have been fine, I think.
I'll tell you what video of theirs you should watch, because it's one of the best videos, the most effort. The production was great, and it was hilarious all the way through. It's their Download 2020, where they shoot it all to look like they're at the festival,
right?
But they're not actually at the festival.
Huh.
It is unbelievable. You will be cracking up the whole they like
Gonna write
the
that down.
tent. They have like the tent, and then they're sitting in the tent, but the tent's blatantly in their front room. But then in the background, they've CGI'd it. So it looks like they're at download when you look out of the tent. It's hilarious. It's brilliant. And then they shoot in the park when they're all outside, so it looks like they're on the grass at download.
Yeah.
They put so much effort into it. I think that is one of the best download-related videos on YouTube. The TPD TV Download 2021. It is unbelievable. People should definitely go out there and check it out because those guys are great anyway. Like I said, it's only grating sometimes, but they really do make fun videos. But that one especially, if you're a downloader, gotta watch it. You'll love every second. They even talk about Easy. He has a nightmare about Easy Cheesy. It's amazing. It's like just all these little download things because they've been to loads of them now, and you're like, yes, this is just perfect. So yeah, check that one out. But
Awesome.
I'll link that one to you anyway.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and I'll put it in the episode description as well.
Do you have any other questions for me until I sort of go into a rant about it?
Just trying to think. I did, like I said, your vlog was about 40 minutes long.
Yeah, I've done a long one this time.
Yeah,
there was just so much to talk about.
Yeah, and I loved every second of it. And I was thinking of all these questions while I was watching it. It was only a couple of days ago, and they've all gone. But yeah, I said about the sound because I'm sure I've seen online some people saying the sound wasn't very good, and I was like, well, if you can get good sound through your phone, then the sound must have been pretty good on stage.
I didn't hear anyone complain about the sound when I was there.
Okay.
I thought the sound was phenomenal just because it was obviously still open air, but
yeah,
I mean, the sound in the tent was unreal because the sound just bounces around the ceiling. It just sounded, Sleep Token in there was, God, the sound, man, it was unreal. It was brilliant. It was literally brilliant. It was like you were he had a 3D Dolby surround system around you. It was incredible. But outside, I thought it was great. Yeah, I didn't have any sound issues. So that's weird.
Okay,
that people said that. I'll have to look out for that now on Facebook and that and see what people are saying. But yeah, definitely not for me. I had no sound. I only had a few issues. Sound was not one of them.
Yeah.
Should I run through my other issues with it before I talk more positively about it?
Let me go on to one of the things that I think with the sound was to do with the Wild Hearts. I know there was something. Is it the Wild Hearts where they just went off stage or something? And it was.
Yeah, I didn't watch them, but I saw that they went off stage.
Yeah, and I think it was similar in like the same sort of thread as that. People were talking about the sound, so maybe it was people complaining that the sound on stage was bad. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I heard that the Wild Hearts were just like. I mean, I don't really know their music. I don't know what they're like, but to me, it sounded like an absolute D move because they were just like, they were, I don't know, they were shouting at the sound man or something.
Really?
Because they were like, this doesn't sound good. And then they started saying to people, we're so sorry. This is such a terrible gig and all this. It's just like, what the hell?
Bloody hell.
Come on,
What assholes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. They might have a good reason for doing that. But from the outside, I was just like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And then apparently they just went, this is rubbish, sorry. And then they just walked off. So, I don't really know what happened there. I'll have to read more into that. But they didn't seem like they were very happy. So, obviously, that was to do with the sound on stage. They weren't in front of the big house speakers, so they couldn't have heard it from there. But apparently to them on stage, that sound man was not having a very good day, apparently.
No.
So they just walked off.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, they're not really my thing anyway, so I didn't watch them.
No, I can't say that I don't know, but that I know much by them. What about the two stages facing each other? Was it the same? Did you go to Sonisphere?
No, I never went to Sonisphere. Let's not talk about it because it makes me want to cry.
Okay, sorry.
When I look back at it's the same with Bloodstock. Like I can't believe this year is going to be my first one because I look back on some of the old Sonisphere lineups and the Bloodstock lineups, and it literally makes me want to cry that I didn't go to some of them.
Yeah.
So I never experienced the stage thing that everyone went on about.
So is that what it was like at Download this year? Was it basically
No, it was not facing each other. It was stages next to each other. So they were both facing the same way.
Right.
But they were just the second stage was on, if you were standing on the hill coming down, second stage was on the right hand side.
Yeah.
And main stage was on the left hand side. So
okay. Cool.
They were next to each other but not facing each other.
Yeah.
There's quite a big gap between them as well. Like people would flock because obviously one band would play, they'd kind of finish or they'd get to their last song. then the other one would start playing, and then people would kind of flock across. But they left loads of room, so there was never any issues with, people getting caught up or anything like that.
Yeah. Do you think people went over? Well, I'm sure they would have done. It's probably a stupid question, but I'll ask it anyway. You probably heard people going to see a band like 3 bands before the band they want to see is on, so they can get right to the front. Did you see anybody doing that? Like just because there were no clashes, but people would just like skip the other band just so they could stay at the front.
Yeah, on the main. I never saw it on the second stage, but on the main stage, when someone was playing in the tent, you'd see about 2 lines of people on the main stage. So not many, but the people that like really loved the next band and they wanted to get right to the front. I mean, for some bands, I literally could have walked to the front barrier. I could have been one person from the front barrier for pretty much all the bands if I really wanted to do that, which was one of those positives about having such a small festival, because you really could get nice and close to these bands.
Yeah.
Where at the proper download, it's a bit more difficult to get through. It takes, God, the amount of time it takes you to walk from one all the way down. You're like, oh my Lord, I got to stop here, man. I can't barge past any more people, because then people start going, come on, man. This is a good space, especially if you're tall and you're watching it and some 6'5" bloke comes and stands in front of you. Like, oh, come on, mate. Jesus, man. Blocking my view. But yeah, no. It was a few lines of people, but there wasn't, hundreds of people. Most people were either watching the other band or nipping back to the tent, which was another good thing, because I'd look at Alex and Vicky and go, I need another drink. I was at the tent in 4 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds amazing,
back at the band, like, it was so good. It was so good. Don't need to do that walk where you need to plan your day, because otherwise you could miss an entire set just walking back. It was good. That was refreshing.
I bet it was. Were you able to get any extra alcohol? Please don't listen to this Download Festival. Any extra alcohol in? No. Did you try?
Do you know what? I didn't need it because there was only 3 of us this year. I was still excited, but I wasn't like in going rago mode where I'm like, yeah, come on, download, and I was like getting proper on it. So even though I only took, you could take 24 cans, I think it was.
Yeah.
I only took 20, and then I took a bottle of rum.
Yeah.
I only drank a quarter of the bottle of rum, and I came back with 4 cans.
Yeah.
So I really didn't drink a lot of this. I drank steadily throughout the day, but I wasn't like, hucking them back. I had 2 cans in my hand, watched a band, drunk one, watched the next band, drunk the other. That was it. It was just casual, nice kind of day drinking. So, yeah. But there was people when they came in. I remember when we walked in. When people cling wrap, like they have like trolleys and they cling wrap. Normal Downer, they have a massive. This guy came in. I swear to you, he had about 60 cans on there.
Yeah.
And I said to Alex, wait a minute, hold on a second. How did he get in with that? He had literally 60 cans on it. So I don't know what was in there or whether they checked them or not, but he clearly just walked in with it.
Yeah.
So I was like, 24 cans, is it? Yeah, I don't think so somehow.
Well, yeah, because a lot of people on the Facebook group I saw a lot of discussions on it saying like, does anybody know how we can sneak more in? Can we go back to the car and just drink at the car for a bit and then come back in? But I was thinking the same. I had a friend of mine message me. It was Michaela. She messaged me saying, like, with a screenshot of the alcohol limits and was like, can you believe this?
Yeah.
And I said to her, I think I'd be fine with that. If 24 cans, 8 cans a day, buy something as a little bit stronger than usual and I'll be fine. I wouldn't be able to drink more than 8 cans a day.
I think as well, people, it was 3 days, not 5.
Yeah.
So you didn't need to sort of make it last that length. And that's quite a lot of, for me, I don't know how other people drink, but for me and you, we'd be like, that's sweet. Yeah, we'll just drink slowly throughout the day. But obviously other people proper get on it.
Yeah.
And they want a lot more alcohol than that. But for me, it was fine. I'm sure other people struggled if they were in big groups of people because they're all sharing cans and you take that drink, I take this drink. So it probably goes a lot quicker where there was only 3 of us. Vicky wasn't really drinking, so it was just me and Alex. Yeah. Just us 2 drinking. So
and you've got to make sure you don't play gazebo ball and you're fine.
Yeah, oh God, yeah, of course.
So I will talk about that at length at some point. Maybe not this episode, but gazebo ball is a good game. We'll have to go.
I can't wait.
International with that one. International, is that what we were saying? Or national?
National. I can't wait for my first session.
Oh, it'd be good.
I'm
But-
I'm buzzing.
You've got to play it when beer is like more of an infinite resource than like very limited.
Okay. Yeah, so normal download.
Yeah.
I have to bring in 60 cans.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I used to do. I think it would always be like about 3 or 4 crates. Oh, what do you say?
Jeez.
Do you say crates or slab or
Slab?
That-
Who says slab?
download?
What is that?
People at I've
Really?
I've always seen it was always the like the place where you can buy beer in the village. Maybe they don't exist anymore because I remember them being in the old layout. No, I'm sure they do. But yeah, it always said a slab of beer, and I was like, I love
okay.
that word, but I would never use it. But I like.
No, I'd never use it,
Yeah.
but I say crate. Yeah,
Yeah,
crate.
great. Okay, cool.
I didn't say
It's something I was curious about last week. After last week.
slab. I'll have a slab of beer,
Yeah.
please. I like that. I never heard that before. Yeah, and that was that download as well. I never heard it.
Yeah, it was always 24 because you don't really see 24 anymore, do you? It's always like 15 or 18.
Mm.
Anyway,
Big boys. That's the old
Yeah.
school.
yeah, but it was always like probably 3 or 4 crates of 24. I always used to take.
Jesus, man.
But
Holy hell.
We'd play. I mean, I'd give them away.
Yeah, that's what I mean. People take them. You take some of these. I'll take some of them, and you end up sharing most of it,
Yeah.
didn't you?
I always have one to walk in with me on the first trip in, and nobody else takes beer on that journey. So they're always like, "Can I have a beer?" Of course you can. Yes, have another one.
I had a walk-in beer this year.
Did you?
I was with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a walk-in beer. I had a walk-in beer every time I went to the car. I was like, walk-in beer. Another
Awesome.
walk-in beer.
Yeah, but yeah, you wanted to get lighter anyway as you're walking, so it was like, yes, all right, get down to about 8 cans and it's fine again.
You're still carrying it, just in your body. It's much easier.
Yeah,
If you got on scales, it'd be like, weight the same.
yeah.
It's easier to carry in your bladder than on your shoulder.
Oh no, if you're giving away, they're not just opening it and
Oh,
then
yeah,
pouring it down
sure,
your
yeah,
throat.
Oh, trying to get off the weight. Stop drinking it.
Pilot, what were we talking about? Pilot.
Sorry, we've gone off on one
yeah,
again.
no, it's fine. I'm actually. I know. I'd said in the last episode, I said it's going to be nowhere near like 2 hours long, and it was over 2 hours long. When we're releasing them every other week, I don't think it's too bad with like having a time limit. If it was every week, then I probably wouldn't want to do more than like 45 minutes to an hour. But
No, true.
every 2 weeks, I think it doesn't really.
Well, hopefully it's like, it's interesting babbling anyway.
Yeah, hopefully.
I mean, if you click on a download podcast, I think you should really know what you're in for anyway, shouldn't you?
yeah, true.
Well, do you have any other pilot questions off the top of your head? Anything you want to know? Juicy gossip from the man on the inside.
Yeah, so I think you didn't really show much of what else there was in your vlog, like things like food stalls or the shops. I think you sort of showed a few.
Yeah, there was some shops bit in there, but I didn't show any of the food stalls themselves. No.
Was that in its own little section like the village is, or was it just
No,
all
there wasn't
around?
really. Yeah, there wasn't really much else apart from there were shops, and then you kind of had sort of like it normally is. You had the full food stalls sort of in a row at the back,
Yeah, okay.
just kind of sort of breaking it up.
Yeah.
So you had that, and there was only like, there was like 2 rides, bumper cars,
Was
and
there?
like a big thing, and that was it. So yeah, I mean, yeah, they didn't need that much this time.
No.
So but actually, I was thinking on the last day because I normally always go on the bumper cars, and then the last day I was like, I got on the bumper cars, man. What am I doing? But I didn't go on because I normally film myself on it because it's good for a laugh.
Yeah.
It's a good shot as well when you're like driving around.
Yeah.
But I didn't do it this time. I didn't do it. We had too many bands to see on the last day.
Yeah. So we normally do the Funhouse. That's something we do every year. Bumper cars.
Ah, yeah, classic.
Yeah. I don't really. It's not that fun, to be honest. I don't really see the point, but everybody wants to do it. So
Fun house that isn't fun. They always have that same one at Download. I love it.
yeah.
Because you do the same thing every year, but because you're so happy to be at Download, you're like, yes!
Yeah.
This is awesome. If it was at a normal place, you'd be like, this is rubbish.
Yeah.
because you're at download, you're like, yes.
Yeah, there was one year actually that when you go down the slide at the end, somebody was stood there waiting and said, "Look, there's stairs going, work back to the top." So we were just going down the slide and going back up the top, and it was great. And we just stood there for a bit as well, just drinking, just watching people down the slide, and just talking to them.
I always love on that thing. I've got loads of videos of my mates. You know, they're like spinning wheel.
Yeah.
Of people trying to like do the star in it
Yeah.
to spin round. I got so many good videos of my friends just falling over, like trying to do it in like old vlogs.
I think I've injured myself trying to do that before.
I love that thing. I won't attempt it because I'm not. I don't want to break my neck at downloads.
Yeah.
I don't want it to. Could you imagine if you like, oh man, if you like broke a collarbone and then you got to go to hospital and then you got to come back and then you got to walk around download, spend your weekend in a tent with a broken collarbone. I'm all right, thanks.
Yeah.
It's the same way I feel about, I still don't have a download tattoo, and I've got loads of tattoos.
Yeah.
And I will get a download tattoo, but I won't get a tattoo at download.
Yeah.
Because tattoos hurt afterwards. They hurt more after, I think, than when they're actually being done. I don't want to have to walk around all day with a tattoo, like for the weekend. That is not not cool. I don't want to do that. So, yeah, that's the same way I feel about the tattoos thing. Not going to break any bones.
Yeah. I quite badly injured myself one year. It's when they had like it was like the bucking Broncos sort of things. It was lined up. There's like 4 or 6 of them. And I was like, I was really drunk. I was like, I'm gonna jump over this and land on the other side. I landed on the back of my neck the other side. And it was awful for the rest of the weekend.
And that, again, that's note to self. Don't injure yourself.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. What year was that? Do you remember?
Probably 2010, 2011, something like that.
Nah, nice.
Yeah, about 10 years ago-ish.
Which was it 11 or 12 that was the really muddy one that was almost as bad as 16?
I think people say 12. I haven't looked at weathers again. I actually started watching some 2003 videos today.
Whoa.
Yeah, but it's only the bands. Like, it's not like what the site looked like, and that's what I want to see. And it's going back to what you were saying earlier about people doing vlogs, just filming the bands. I'm like, well, you can see the bands anyway. You can see the bands playing music from other gigs, but you want to remember what the site looked like to try and get some. I do to try and get some memories back.
Yeah, I get that as well, because when you watch videos of these old festivals, you see people, filming the stage and they film a little bit of their tents, but they don't show you the rest of the festival. That's why I was like, I feel like this is my duty to kind of go, right, I'm here, that's over there, that's over there, so then people can get it, and then they can look back on it in like 10 years and go, oh yeah, that's sick, that was over there, that was over there. Like, maybe we're just logistic nerds and no one else cares.
Yeah.
but I do.
Tell me, I only thought of this a couple of days ago. Was 2019 a completely different layout? I'm thinking it was.
No.
For the camping.
The camping was slightly different because they moved the village. So where you used to walk through those shops, they moved that bit. So it was slightly different, but the camping locations, they didn't use White Camp because that's gone.
Right.
So it was, you're right, it was slightly different.
Yeah.
But the ones that were there were still ones that were there before. It's just got rid of stuff that was there before.
Yeah.
So yes, slightly different.
Because we were in
you're right.
Black, and I was lost most of the weekend. but I was there, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. I love download. It was only like I said, about 3 days ago, I thought it occurred to me that was different. That was different to the years before, because we walked through the village from the other side to get to Black. And I'm like, I've never done that before. But
it's because they moved it.
Yeah.
Well, next year will be even weirder because did you watch the video where they go through the new layout?
No, but I know you've said it. Was it last?
Yeah, there's an actual
episode?
Download video. There's an actual download video from Download where they're sort of the guy who's the head of logistics. He goes through and shows you where it is now, what's gone,
right,
what's going to be different. Because the village was so flooded with mud in 2019, it's now going to be on hard standing ground.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I hated that.
They'll probably do little tweaks here and there because obviously some of the grounds would have changed within the 2-year time, but they'll probably still keep... What they said was, which I was saying when I was there, they were like, for some reason with Download, we never use the infrastructure that's already there. They're like, we just put things where we want them. And they're like, we're finally just going to use what we have. And I'm like, why have they not thought of that before? They've got all this hard standing ground that they just don't use.
Yeah.
So now they're actually going to make use of that. So if it does rain, you can go to the village and just hang out there because it won't be muddy. It's just going to be wet ground.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, because you... Oh, yes. One thing I did think, because the first thing, one of the only things you text me when you were there was, it's wet. And I thought that was quite funny. But I assume it didn't get anywhere near as bad because what makes it bad is the people trampling over it, not the actual weather.
Yeah.
So obviously there's less people. Yeah. So it wasn't too bad there weather-wise or ground-wise.
Bit of sludge slightly around the toilets, just the main areas where people go. It rained pretty much all the first day, but it was quite light. When the bands came on, it kind of stopped for a bit.
Yeah.
Rained a little bit in the evening. Saturday was amazing. It was just overcast with breaks of sun. Sunday was a tiny little bit of rain, and then it got quite nice in the evening. So honestly, nothing to complain about. Wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Campsites were fine. Little bit of sludge here and there, like you said, from where most of the people were been going over, but absolutely banging. I mean, I got sunburnt to shit.
Yeah,
so
I saw your nose at the end of the video.
Can't have been that bad. Oh, mate, it's still red now, but it was really bad. It was really bad. I get sunburnt anyway, but I'm brown. Like my friend yesterday, my mate Sammy, he goes to me, "Oh my lord!" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I don't think I've ever seen you tanned before." It's like, "You've actually got a brown face, man." He's like, "What's? You normally got that beautiful white goth complexion," and it's like, "Now you look like you've been in like Morocco for 2 weeks or something." So I was like, "Okay, yeah, thanks, man. I look good." And that is a lot of that was from Download.
Awesome.
So the weather really wasn't bad. Yeah,
yeah,
really
it didn't
worked perfectly.
Seem too bad in your videos, like and most of it wasn't raining. Oh, I did like the ASMR bit with the rain.
Yeah, the Download rain.
I didn't know what ASMR was until a week or so ago. I'd seen it loads recently. I'm like, what the hell is this? So I looked it up, and yeah, that was cool. I didn't actually. I'll listen to it with headphones on at some point. I might even use that and as a background for campsite fuckery instead of the fire because
good idea. Yeah, good idea.
Is more apt. It makes more sense.
Well, it was like me and Vicky. We were laying there and we were just chatting just before we like went to bed because we were like, we were just talking about the day and all that. And then it started to rain, and then we both went silent for a second. And I went, "Hold on a minute, babe. Let me just get my thing out," because I was like, "People are gonna miss this." That was already out. No, let me get my phone out, and then I was like, I need to record this because this will make people miss Download even more, even though it's rain.
Yeah,
but it's that familiar sound where you can hear slight little people outside, just a little bit, and you just hear that rain on the tent. And I was just laying there for ages, just thinking, this is awesome. I've missed that sound.
Yeah,
I've definitely missed it. So I thought I better record it. Yeah,
I'm gonna nick that off of your YouTube.
Yeah, good.
Awesome.
Steal my stuff, steal my content.
Yep. Cool.
I'll allow you to do that.
Thank you. Yeah, no choice. I'll use somebody else's. It's not going to be your rain on your tent.
It's not your rain I'm using.
Else's. Did you get any chance? Anybody shouting like Timmy or bollocks or anything like that?
There was a few chants. It sounded like, I could say right now, it felt like a lot more than 10,000 people.
Yeah.
Felt like a lot more than that, but it obviously was 10,000 people. But there was a few chants, but nothing that went along. There was a couple of Nice One Brothers and a couple of other
I've
things.
never heard that.
And then
I don't know what
that
not? Is from.
Yeah, it's from why can't I think of it?
Sounds like that
bloody John
one with the flat cap thingy.
Human Traffic.
Oh.
It's from Human Traffic.
Was it? I was thinking of Peaky Blinders, but I've not seen it.
No.
Okay.
It's from Human Traffic.
Okay.
It's like a film in the late 90s about like pubbing and clubbing. It's got John Sim in it. It's really good. It's really good.
I think I've probably seen it at some point.
It's Danny Dyer who says it. He's on the toilet and he's like ringing his mate and he's like, "Hey, have you got any tickets to the club later?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, nice one, brother." And he goes, "Oh, nice one, brother." And then just gets louder around it. And then he's like, "Nice one, brother." And then that's where it comes from.
Yeah. So
it's great. It's a really good film. You haven't seen it, go and watch it.
Pretty sure I have at some point. I might watch it again at some point. But I did put up on the in the download the Facebook download group. Strangely, as you know, I was denied permission to actually post about the podcast, which I don't understand. But I did put a post out saying that I'd need these chants for a project that I'm doing that's all about download. I can't tell you what it is. And I was going to use like people's recordings to put behind the campsite fuckery bit. So it does. If I can do a good enough job, it's going to really feel like you're there.
Awesome. Can't wait.
But yeah, so many people. I only got one person send me a recording, and that was something I've not heard before. But a lot of people were commenting, saying, "Nice one, brother." I was like, I don't know what this is. I've never heard this one.
Yeah, that one. That one I've heard a lot the last few years.
Yeah.
Not before that, but the last few years I've definitely heard people screaming. You just hear like a nice one, brother.
Yeah.
And then you've just got to shout it.
Maybe it's something that I've heard and didn't realise it was a chant. Or I didn't know where it was from.
You thought someone was just saying, "Oh, nice one, brother,
Yeah.
thanks." That's good. You just thought people were just being really nice to each other while you're walking around. Oh, nice one, brother. Nice one. Yeah, it's true.
Well, they are anyway. Did you get any free hugs?
I did not. I didn't get close enough to anyone.
Okay.
There was a few people doing high fives, and I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. Have a good download, but I do that anyway. Even when people normally do it, I'm that annoying guy where they're like, "Come on, dude, hit my hand, man," and I'm like, "I know, man, party on, but I don't want to touch. Don't touch your hand.
Party on, cool.
Party on, but I don't want to touch you. Simple as that."
Where was I going with that? There was somewhere I was going with that. I don't know if you know where it was. What was I talking about before that?
Chanting, logistics.
Yeah, the chant. I think I can put it back to that. So where are we going now?
Yeah, well, I'll just say that generally, I think it was fantastic. It was really good. It was all pluses from me. There's just a few things that I was slightly annoyed about. No signal at all.
Yes, you did say that.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what they do at download normally. What the crack is with towers or repeaters or whatever they use normally. But I can tell you right now, no one had any. I don't know how. I saw a few people posting Instagram videos. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I had no signal. Vicky had no signal. Alex had no signal. Spoke to other people. You got any signal? No, nothing. So you couldn't text anyone. I had to be in a certain place to text Alex to say, "Oh, I'm by the toilets or I'm by wherever." It was really annoying. That was one of the downfalls. And the other thing was lack of toilets.
Yeah.
I know there's only 10,000 people there, but I'm not talking about the little urinals, because that was fine. But the actual toilets for the men. At one point, they took away half of the women's to use as the guys.
Really?
Because women were just walking straight out because they had so many cubicles. And the guys, I must have stayed in one line for 45 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, it was really bad for guys' toilets. There weren't enough of them. Not at all. That's the only major thing I would say that they messed up on. But I know there was some difficulties in getting certain stuff for festivals due to suppliers and other stuff. So toilets might have been an issue with that.
You did send me an article saying about that before the festival, didn't you? Yeah. And it's something that I've noticed since. Whenever I see, because obviously I've said many times in the last episode, I'm a postman. Whenever you see like people doing roadworks, they've always got a toilet cubicle there as well, which you never used to see. I assume they would just go into somebody's house or get friendly with somebody there. But I've seen loads out and just in public recently. So yeah, if that's everywhere in the country, it makes sense that there's a shortage for download.
Yeah, I just think suppliers in general and businesses closing down and all that sort of stuff's probably affected the amount. I mean, if it was a proper download, this would have been bad, because if they couldn't have got enough toilets for that would not have been nice. The toilets themselves were fine. Sometimes you go in, they're bad. They've just been cleaned. They're fantastic. I had no complaints about the toilets themselves. It was just the amount of the toilets, and even the fact that they had to say, right, these are no longer women's toilets, these are guys, because people are missing two bands just waiting for the toilet. It was ridiculous. I didn't have my phone on me when I went one time because I was like, I want to film this line. I didn't have my phone on me. I think I was charging it back at 10. I know, because I was like, I wanted to show you how bad it actually was, but people that were there could probably vouch for it, that it was pretty bad. But yeah.
There's always a certain time in the mornings, isn't there, that the toilet, the queues are bad, like in the campsites. I quite often wake up really early, so I sort of wake up and go, oh, I've got to use the toilet while nobody's up, and then you go past it like 2 hours later, and there's a massive queue, and you feel amazing. It's like,
it's that 8-9 in the morning time. You've got to get up earlier than that, otherwise you will be queuing for the toilet.
Yeah,
I guess Vicky said that because she's like, why is there always a massive queue for the guys' toilets in the morning? I'm like, well, I think guys they like to use the loo first thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it is about that, but it's just always rammed. So you got to get in there, like you said, really, really, really early. But yeah, that's they're the only sort of complaints, not really complaints, just small gripes about the festival. The rest of it was brilliant. The staff were lovely, really friendly, really nice people. They looked like they were having a good time as well. Everyone at the food trucks was in a great mood. I spoke to one of the girls that was running one of the t-shirt stalls that Vicky I bought something from. I just said to her, how you doing? How you doing? How's the business doing? And she said, oh, fantastic. She's like, it's been brilliant to be back. Everyone's been fantastic. We've made lots of money. So she was really positive as well. So I was like, oh, wicked. She's like, yeah, it's been a great time, great weekend. So It looks like everyone, the bands as well, were just so happy. I mean, there was a few moments where you were a bit taken back of it. Frank Carter and Enter Shikari, their singer, he just kind of stopped and said, you're going to have to just bear with us in between some songs, because he's like, I'm going to have to stand there and just take this in for a second, because this is what we've been waiting for. Yeah. So it was, some of the bands got, almost quite emotional about it, because, that this is, for some bands, this is their livelihood. Yeah. But as I found out after, apparently all the bands done it for free.
Oh, really?
No one was paid, apparently. Huh. It was all bands doing it literally just because they wanted to get live. I mean, obviously they probably paid for it, because you've got to bring pyro, you've got to bring staff, you've got to bring all that. Yeah. So it probably cost these bands money. So thankful that they wanted to come and do it just for the sake of getting live music back on the go. Yeah. Because it was fantastic. And like I said in the video, some of the best performances I've seen some of these bands a few times, and this was by far the best times I've seen them. They were just ecstatic to be playing. They looked like they were having a really good time. And the crowd, it sounded like a lot more than 10,000 people. People were making a massive noise, singing along, dancing, just having fun. Everyone around just had a smile on their face. It was brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Sorry, I know people that didn't go, making it sound like the greatest thing ever. I'm sorry. It's like I said before, you missed Download, but you didn't miss Download. This was something else.
You said that in the blog, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah. It's separate. It's not Download. It was a bit of Download and a bit of something else. So doesn't count towards your streak. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So you haven't messed your streak.
I was going to say, no, I'm going the opposite way now. I'm going to see how many I can miss in a row.
Do you know what? Then it comes down to how many can you miss and still do a valid podcast about Download Festival. Yeah. I think once you've missed 2 or 3, we might have to replace you, because you're it's not really relevant anymore.
Yeah, no, that's true. Oh no, I'm so looking forward to going next year. Even my girlfriend is. She's up and down about it. She's so laid back. She doesn't care about anything really. But I'm having some of your videos on the TV downstairs and other people's videos. It's got her really hyped to go as well. So she's going to be asking her parents to have the kids as early as she can, so they're ready for it. And we are so looking forward to going now.
I think a lot of people have seen, the vlogs and the other vlogs that people have done and just been like, oh man, Download, because all the people that I spoke to, my friends that couldn't get the time off, that would have come if they could have, it was just too short notice. They were all just like, oh mate, I'm so buzzing for next year. They're all just like, I'm ready. Yeah. Next year is going to be just mental if it goes ahead. It's going to be mental. I can't wait.
I bet it sells out really quickly. I don't think it, as far as I'm aware, it hasn't sold out since about 2008, 2007, something like that. It's been at least 10 years, I think.
Yeah.
And I think it's only sold out maybe 2 or 3 times, but I bet it does next year.
Yeah, oh yeah, I hope so. That'll be really good. We need them to recoup the thing. I also saw Andy Copping walking around.
Did you?
Yeah, I saw him walking around, but I was just about to go into a band and there was loads of people surrounding him. So I said, I don't want to be one of those people that walks up to him and annoys him as well.
Yeah.
Because I'll, like Wayne's World, I'll go, I'm not worthy.
Worthy, yeah.
I'll start bowing at his feet and then he'll be like, oh, Jesus, who's this weirdo?
Yeah.
So I thought, I best not, go over and...
That's cool. What are you doing? I'm averting my eyes, oh Lord.
Don't look at him straight in the eyes. Yeah, so I didn't go over to him, but I saw him walking around, and it's probably good for him because Download's a bit too big to walk around. He would just get mobbed, but
yeah,
he looked like he was just walking around and just talking to people, and people saying, "Oh, great festival" and all that stuff. So he looked really happy, and you saw him on the stage. He watched all the headliners. Saw him on Frank Carter and Enter Shikari and Bullet. So it was cool that he was coming and watching the performances as well, because it's a lot of effort to put on, and his team must be buzzing because it went so well.
Yeah.
And I've seen loads of positive articles as well. There's been articles in The Guardian and every newspaper I've seen, an online thing, and it says, Download pilot, it's a hit. It's proof that festivals can go ahead. It's just been such a positive reaction to it, which has been fantastic. So yeah, that's it really. That's really all I've got to say about it. Apart from the performances were just great. Like, headliners were unbelievable. Frank Carter and Rattlesnakes, never seen them before. I like a lot of their songs. They were brilliant. He's such a good front man. And they had a lot of guests come on and sing songs with them. And they'd done a cover. I didn't know that they played covers as well.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, we're going to do something special for you. And I'm like, oh, awesome. What's it going to be? They started playing Ace of Spades. I was like, yes,
awesome.
Man, my Motorhead. So everyone was singing to that, and that was just like a little thing. Then they played their last song and they went off.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. So they were great. Shikari were just phenomenal. Their sound, the way they interact with the fans, them on stage, they just like... I think I'd done about 20,000 steps just during Enter Shikari.
Bloody hell.
I could not stand still the whole time. I was just dancing, jumping, moshing, just doing everything I possibly could. It was great. And Bullet, brilliant as well, to close the festival. Oh, just amazing. They've really, I don't know, people have been really down on their last couple of albums. I like all of them.
Yeah.
Okay. But they played their new song and it got a really, really good reaction. So I was happy with that. And everyone was like, that was sick. I was like, yes. Yeah. Good. I like it. So yeah, it was great, man. It was great. And it was good to see small bands on stages they wouldn't normally play on. Like bands like Loathe, Sleep Token, who will be massive, Holding Absence, Higher Power, those bands that I like that played, to play on a massive stage to a hell of a lot of people, where normally they would be playing stages much smaller than that. So for them, it was probably a godsend.
Yeah.
To be playing to that many people. And I'll say one thing as well, whoever the lighting team was for this festival, absolutely incredible. Some of the best lighting, even for the small bands on at like in the middle of the day, lighting absolutely nailed it. That I don't know what their LED setup is, or it was just fantastic. That I really noticed the lighting this time. It really stuck out. Yeah. Especially during Bullet, Shikari and Sleep Token. Lighting was just absolutely phenomenal. So big shout out to the lighting team as well.
Awesome.
I don't think that ever gets enough recognition, but really does make a gig when you have really nice, lovely, clean looking lighting. It brings it out.
Yeah. Oh, well, you said you worked on the lights in Harrow, was it? Was it Harrow?
Yeah. Well, I've been messing around with stuff like that. More of a sound background, but when I was doing the lighting, it was definitely an eye opener to see how complex it could be.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of a bit more. I appreciate it a little bit more.
Yeah. I thought you maybe, because I've worked on a lighting desk twice maybe, and it was like all already set up, so you just like press one button, but it was cool to see how it actually works. So I think I would notice it a bit more. But there were so many things you said there that I could use to lead into the next section. I'm going to go on lights, which is, I don't know how I'm going to lead it on, but this is something I thought about during the week. You remember last week I said about I had the idea for the two stages facing each other before Sonosphere did?
Yes. Yeah.
Another one of my cool ideas was, I don't know if it's a cool idea, but how about having a lights guy as part of the band? Getting one of those like keytars, with like, is that what they're called?
And having lighting triggers on it.
Yeah. And then have like a light solo. And it would only work for someone as big as like Slipknot to start with. You couldn't have just like a rubbishy little band doing the lights. But if you had someone like Slipknot do it first, everyone's going to have a lighting guy as part of the band.
I'm not sure I've ever heard of that idea ever. Do you know what? It's mental, but it might be awesome.
It might be. I don't know how. And now I don't know how to lead into the next bit. So let's go back to Andy Copping. His hat. Have you heard the story of why he wears his? It's not a cowboy hat. What's it called? Stetson. Is it Stetson?
Yeah. Yeah. I think someone told me this ages ago, but I've forgotten. Remind me.
Well, it's basically so he can be seen around, like from anywhere around the festival, pretty much. But I heard that on the Sappening podcast. I told you about it, didn't I? Oh, I sent you a message saying I was listening to it. Have you ever listened to it?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it before. It's amazing. I've fallen in love with it. I really have. And I think he goes into it in the interview he does with them. But so I'm going to skip campsite fuckery for now. Go straight into shout outs because we do have a Twitter now. I set up a Twitter for us.
Yes. We're on the worst place on the internet.
I hate Twitter. Good. I know. I'm glad you know. Like,
no, but you kind of have to be on there. But I mean, it's like, it's Twitter. It's the funniest place and the worst place. All at the same time.
Coming from video games, like where every other person wants to be a streamer or something, and they've got that mentality of I have to post every day to keep relevant, and the posts are things like, oh my god, this is my 57th favorite part of this game, what's your 57th part of this game? And it's a fucking horrible place. But I thought I'll get on there, just to get us out a little bit. And I discovered Sappening through that, and I've been liking a lot of their stuff. And like I said, I've fallen in love with it. I probably should message them personally at some point and say, look, there's a person behind this. I'm not just trying to jump on to your...
Sell you something.
Yeah, I'm not trying to just like grab some of your fans away, because it's such a good podcast. I've been listening to it loads recently. And I've jumped into shout outs because...
do you know I'm Facebook friends with Sean Smith?
Are you?
Yeah, because I met him loads of times because... one of my ex-girlfriends was best mates with someone else in the Blackout.
Okay.
So I've been backstage with the Blackout a hell of a lot during about 2008 and 9. He probably doesn't remember who I am now.
Yeah.
Because I was just his mate's boyfriend.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sean is a Facebook friend of mine, so
cool.
I can send him a message if you want. He probably won't remember who the hell I am, but we're still Facebook friends, so.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh, that's cool. And he's hilarious. Like they're both Welsh. They're both absolutely hilarious. Like I'm laughing all the time. I don't know. Welsh can only do funny, can't they? They can't do serious, can they?
I don't know. Timothy Dalton.
I don't know.
He was Welsh.
I don't know who that is.
James Bond.
Okay.
Played James Bond.
Yeah.
You're not a fan of the Bond films.
I never watched them really. The only one I've really seen is Casino Royale. I went to the cinema to watch that.
Can you even call yourself British and not have seen the Bond movies? Or at least like one of them?
Hey, I like Doctor Who.
Oh yeah. Well,
something I learned today, in America, they have British societies, like after class and stuff like that. And
amazing.
And there's people who like to pretend they're British or want to say they're British, and they like need to drink cups of tea or like, and yeah, it's just basically showing their love for like Doctor Who and what's the other one? Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, wicked.
Apparently it's like cringy. It's very cringy, like the people who are into it.
Probably.
I didn't know the Americans did that, like wanting like Britishizing themselves. I don't know if that's the right word.
Dude, I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. I have an entire DVD collection of the old Doctor Who that I've collected through the years.
I never watched any of the old ones.
I know the people listening to this can't see, but if you were to look on that shelf over there, there's loads of Doctor Who stuff on there.
Yeah.
I've got like a piece of film from one of the Peter Cushing Doctor Who movies up there. Like,
cool.
I mean, it's gone downhill a lot. I'm not as into it as I once was, but at one point I was a huge Doctor Who mark. I just loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
I'll still watch the old ones all the time, but what I was going to do on YouTube, sorry, I know we're going off a tangent now if you hate Doctor Who, sorry, but I was going to do a review of each of the new series because apparently it's Jodie Whittaker's last season.
Okay, what the,
and I
the
was
next one
going to, I was just,
coming out?
yeah, I was going to do like a review of each episode. So I'm probably going to do that on YouTube at some point.
Cool.
Just because the show's a really interesting place where it can be so bad it's good, but then
Yeah.
you'll have like one bit that's still good. So at the moment, the show's really in a fascinating place. So I thought I'd do some reviews. But anyway, yeah.
Awesome.
Moving on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I did notice, still a stay on Doctor Who, strangely. I noticed all of your social media stuff says sci-fi nerd, and I've seen Doctor Who posters. So I think I sent you a screenshot of like my memories from about 8 years ago, I think, was it? And
Yeah.
I said one of the highlights of Download was there was a stall selling fezzes next to Stetsons.
Yeah.
And I thought, I saw that
Yeah.
you'll probably get this reference. It was awesome.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
I love
Yes,
that.
I wear a
I
fez
would have
now.
bought both of them and just worn one each day. I know, yeah. I had a fez.
Did
I
you?
don't know what happened to it. Yeah.
Let's get back on track. I do have another shout out to a guy called Jamie Westwood. A few months back, I posted in the download group just basically saying I need a good name for this podcast. My name at the time was going to be No Sleep Till Monday. I assume that's a big saying at festival at download. But there was one year where there was a guy, it must have been like the opposite side of the track in the campsite to us, and he was shouting it all weekend. And so it just sort of stuck to me. I thought it was a cool name. But this
Yeah, that is good.
this guy, Jamie Westwood, he commented on it saying, look, this is a cool idea. You really should do it. You know, I would absolutely love it. And there's nothing like it. And that is one thing that stuck with me from all that time. Probably one of the reasons why I did eventually get into it and got hold of you and didn't just forget about the idea, because I do that quite a lot. I have ideas and forget about them. So yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Jamie Westwood. He has his own podcast. It's I don't know if it's You Suck or USUK, probably You Suck Chronicles podcast. If you want to check that out. Anything you want to add in the shout out bits?
Shout out to my mum for giving birth to me. It was a good move. That's it.
Cool. All right. Well, let's go back then. We cause like I said, I skipped campsite fuckery, and let's do campsite fuckery.
Okay, let's do it.
We don't have, nobody sent us any stories, so we're gonna have to go over a couple of our own again. But you can send us anything you want. You know, I'm gonna say how you can get hold of us again at the end of the show. It'll be in the episode description. We just want to hear from you, and it'll be cool to have some of your stories in here. So yeah, just do it. So I've got one. This is quite.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
It's all about Old Oaks Close. So we were staying at this guy's house the night before Download Festival, and a few of the guys there, they went out and then came back with this sign, the road sign from Old Oaks Close, and then he took it to Download with him. I think we got a minibus that year, and I didn't see much of it. I didn't realise he had it with us, and one of the security came over and said, "Where did you get that from?" Old Oaks Close. What more do you need? It says right. Oh, it was hilarious. It was just,
I bet he felt right mugged off.
Yeah.
Man. That's great.
yeah, he realised what he said after. He said, "Oh, of course, yeah." Yeah, that was hilarious.
Of course. Oh, that's good stuff. I was just thinking the other day of, like, I was thinking back on the first few times I went to Download with my friends and how much little shits we were, because me and my brother were reminiscing about this, right? And it's the sort of thing where we used to get really hammered. Like, this was like 6, 7, 8, 9. So like the first ones that we went to,
Age?
we just started going mental. And
What?
say that again?
Age 6, 7, 8, and 9. Or
No, I meant Download. 6, 7. Yeah, we were 6 at Download. I wish. Oh my god, I wish my parents took me to festivals. Would have been amazing. What was I saying? Yes, so we were just remembering how much, because we were sitting there going, oh my god, remember all that stuff we used to do. My brother would just get drunk there. We'd be walking through the campsite and he'd be like, if I see someone's shoes outside their tent, they're getting lobbed. It's as simple as that. So some poor person would have their like Converse outside, and he'd just get above his head. Wow! Straight across, literally as far as it could go. Just straight to the other side, boom, on someone's tent. And then we'd be walking around the next day and be like, if I see any black bags, they're going. So you'd be walking through them going, please don't be a black bag. Please. There's one. Gone. And my brother's like 6'4" as well, with like the longest arms ever. So he can really whip stuff really good. And you just sit, I could just imagine some guy sitting there just like with his morning coffee, just like, oh, lovely morning at Download. Hit in the face with a black bag full of rubbish. Back in the day, you didn't see many people clearing up after themselves, so it was rare that someone had a black bag that they were actually putting rubbish in.
Yeah, and the shoe thing, man, like they would have got there and gone like, oh, they've been stolen. They wouldn't think to look a couple of tents over.
So I'd like to apologise for my brother's behaviour, and if your shoes went missing in one of these years, I apologise. It probably was him. And they were probably about 15 tents in any direction within a 15 tent radius, because he would just get them and gone. It was mostly Converse.
Yeah.
Because those few years had good weather, so there wasn't too many wellies floating around. So it was literally just
zero.
like someone's normal shoes.
Yeah, probably.
So bad.
That is bad.
Can you imagine? Oh, these Converse will last me the whole festival.
Yeah.
Gravy. I mean, to be fair, who leaves their shoes outside?
Yeah, especially if it's not muddy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, put them in your tent. But yeah, so that was one thing that we were like, oh god, we can't believe we used to do that.
Yeah.
Because we went in 2019 with him, and he'd like, I'd never do that now.
Yeah.
I'd never do that. He's like, I would never do that. I would feel so bad. But when you're like 21, 22, and you're like, whatever, I couldn't care.
Yeah.
Whoop, they're gone. There's going to be other stuff that comes back to me like that. They're just, and now I'm sitting there going, look at these guys causing havoc.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yeah. I'm the same. Like, just think back to some of the stuff you do, and you're just cringing internally. It's like, did I really do that? Oh. Yeah.
But yeah, that's my little bit about Adam loving shoes and bags.
Another one I got any more? I got lots more. But what do I go with? Another genius thing I did. I had too much stuff to carry back to the car on the Monday morning. I don't remember the last time I left on the Monday morning. I've gone Sunday nights for well over 10 years now. I'm gutted. I miss Monday mornings, but there was one year I had too much stuff to carry back with me. So I took the gazebo down, put it all in the roof of the gazebo, and just got the four bits of like fabric, not the legs. The legs are gone, and just dragged it. I think it was still a bit too heavy for me, so there was two of us, have 2 legs of each of the gazebo, just dragging it back to the car. That was quite clever. I had a lot of people say to me, that's really clever.
There's a lot of people that used to make awesome things to fit the purpose of what they were doing at Download.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, whoa, that's ingenuity right there. Look what they're doing. That's amazing. Like, you'd be like, why didn't I think of that? There was you could see a lot of that, definitely.
Yeah.
But well done.
You got any more?
I'm trying to think. Well, see, the best thing about this is meeting up with more people now and talking about Download. Like I said, we're talking to my brother.
Yeah.
And then all my other friends that I used to go to Download with, because they always remind me of stuff. And then I'm like, oh man, how did I forget that? So I'm going to talk to them as much as possible, and specifically for the podcast, just to make sure I have all of these like awesome stories. I've got one that came back to me, which I think I've got a picture of me just like doing like a crab with like a guitar. I'm like doing like a guitar stance.
Yeah.
That was taken during, they used to be just outside Blue Camp when you go through, and there was the sort of village area. There was like almost like a sort of merry-go-round. I think it had like the chairs on that you sit and they spin round.
Right.
They're just like on the little chains. We walked out. There must have been like 5 or 6 of us. And there were these 2 guys. They were just pitting around it. Just circle pitting. They were just running around it, around this thing. And we went, you want, this is awesome. Should we do it? We went, yeah. So we joined in and started going. Then these other people started coming from Blue Camp. And before you know it, there was about 30 people doing a circle pit around this ride, and it was huge because everyone was so drunk. Everyone was just like, yeah! So people were just running around. And I just remember thinking what people must think when they were walking out looking around. You've just got all these guys just going, just going around the thing. There was like very faint music in the background as well. There wasn't even like anything loud playing.
Yeah.
And then there's just pictures of me headbanging to no, what was I headbanging to? I was just, it's like we were imagining that there was a show going on at the same time. And this was like 1 a.m. Just circle pitting around ride. So if anyone remembers that was 2009. If anyone else was involved in that, oh man, we had a good time together.
Yeah, because I said to you that I thought, I just had some weird, strange memories thinking that I was involved in your smiley face man. And then you sent some pictures through, but it was at night. And what I remember, if I remember it, or just making it up, I don't know. But I thought it was during the day.
Someone actually said to me, I was speaking to my friend Donald the other day, and he said to me, do you know the reason why we started Join the Line? And I was like, was there a reason why we started it? He went, yeah. And I went, what was it? He went, because of the Scottish marching all the time.
Okay.
Because the Scottish started marching up, like all the Scottish got together at Download. They don't do this anymore, I don't think. But they used to get together and they used to just walk through Download as like a giant group of Scottish people.
Oh.
All with kilts and flags, and they used to be saying, Scotland and all
No,
this.
you said that.
And
Yeah, that comes back to me a little bit. Yeah, I think I remember that.
Yeah, they used to do that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like we were like being anti-Scottish, but we were like, hey, if they can do it, why can't we? And then that's apparently the reason why we started doing that whole Join the Line thing. So it was to sort of say, well, if the Scottish can have their own line, we can have our own. There's no, we're not a country, but we'll just start a line anyway. So apparently it was because the Scottish were just running around the festival in a giant group. So we thought we might as well try it as well.
Awesome.
So yeah, there you go. So that was something that I completely forgot about.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Didn't
it's
even
going to be
remember.
so much that comes back to us. So even if nobody writes in, we've got our own memories to fill this bit with. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, but write in
Yeah.
because we want to hear your memories. Because they might bring
Yes.
memories back for us. We might have been involved in them. We don't know.
Yeah. It would be great if, like those big photos I've got. I mean, there's, I don't know half the people in those pictures.
Yeah.
It'd be fantastic if we put those on the socials. If someone could go, oh my Lord, that's me. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, awesome. A quick sneak peek into next week, because you've just reminded me of it. I had a similar experience to your circle pit around the ride, but it was a queue around a circular building, basically. So I think next week we're gonna. Well, we haven't discussed this, but next week shall we dive into 2003 and try and get some information about 2003 and talk about it, and I will try and get some memories back for 2003.
Sure. Yeah, man.
But yeah, it was definitely either the first year or maybe even Ozfest the year before. I think we picked our tickets up there, or picked up the bands. Maybe it was everyone was like queuing to get the bands, and it wasn't like it is now. It was just like people dotted around everywhere, and there was these circular buildings, and they had these little hatches. And at one point, people started queuing around it. So like, oh, we're jumping into this queue, and after I don't know, maybe 10, 15 minutes, I was like, we haven't moved. Let's come out of the queue and walk around it, and it was just a queue round itself. It was like Ouroboros. Is it Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail sort of thing?
Yeah,
Yeah, and that was basically what it was. Nobody, nobody knew. We were just a queue around each other, and that's why it didn't move, because
my
nobody
Lord.
else moved.
That's amazing.
There we go. That's one of my 4 memories from the first year, if it even was the first. I think it was the first year. But so next week we will be talking about 2003 a little bit. We'll probably go off on our own little tangents and talk about other stuff that we remember as well. But we'll see what we can work out for 2003.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Anything you want to add to anything we said today?
No, not really. Just to reiterate, I had a great time at the pilot, and hopefully that should get festivals kick-started, and things like Bloodstock should hopefully be able to go ahead.
Yeah, awesome. I've been intending to look at the history of lineups for Bloodstock. After I said in the first episode, I'd be better off going to Bloodstock than download.
Yeah.
Every time I heard myself say that, I was like, is that really true? That is a bit weird to say. So I do need to look at the lineup and sort of compare them to the download year and go, like, because I said, if there's no bands on that I want to see, just going to a random tent, I'd be better off at Bloodstock. But there's probably more bands in general that I want to see on the download lineup. So
yeah. In total, yeah. So actually, you are more of a downloader.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm just excited to go to Bloodstock.
Yeah.
Just to see what it's.
Because
all these Bloodstockians, I don't know how you would refer to them. They say, hey man, if you go to Bloodstock, you won't ever want to go back to download.
Yeah, really.
Like, you just won't.
Huh.
So I'm just interested to see if that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll definitely still go back to download, but
and you'll be starting your own podcast with Bloodstock and hookers.
Yeah, we'll be like that. I'm done with this. Bloodstock, dear Bloodstock.
No. You know, it's got to be alliteration. So it's got to be Bay Bloodstock.
Bay Bloodstock.
There we go. There we go. And we'll be in competition then as well. Like, fuck you. Fuck you, Bay Bloodstock. Yeah. that came from the campsite. We were in White not last year, 2019. We were next to Blue. I think no, you said Blue didn't exist in 2019, did you?
No, it did. It did.
But yeah, like just a random time, we were near the fence and just one guy was shouting, "Fuck you, Blue Camp," and he was shouting back, "Fuck you, White Camp." "Fuck you, Blue Camp." It was hilarious. My neighbour came with us, so we were shouting, "Fuck you, number 5," and he was shouting, "Fuck you, number 4." Back. It was awesome.
Oh, that's good stuff. I definitely want to camp near the edge now next year.
Yeah.
So I can abuse the other people in the other campsite.
Oh, it was just so lame, but funny as well. It was supposed to be like that. You know, it wasn't real aggression. Oh, it was good. Anyway, we were closing it up, weren't we? So,
yes.
Yeah, there was nothing else I'd finished up. If you want to reach out to us about anything you've heard on this episode, whether that's stories for Campsite Fuckery, anything we've missed from a particular topic, any corrections, feedback, or even suggestions of topics that you want to hear about, you can reach us on these platforms. We're on Facebook as Dear Download Podcast. We're on Twitter. We're exactly the same, Dear Download Podcast. We've got like about 4 followers at the moment. I've been trying to push it, but like I said, I hate Twitter. But yeah, so come and give us a follow, and that'll be nice to get off the ground. You can also email us at deardownload2003@gmail.com. That's the numbers 2003. Where can people find you, Simon?
They can find me on Instagram, Fonzie_Simon, or Simon Bond on Facebook, or my YouTube is Simon Bond as well. So if you type that in, it should come up with me. I also just want to quickly say thanks to everyone that so far that's liked us on Facebook. Because that was nice of people to do that. So
yeah, definitely.
Again, if you are listening to this podcast, go and like us on the socials. That would really help us out. And sharing the episode would be fantastic if you've enjoyed it. It would be great to pass on the love. But yeah, big up to people that liked us so far. Big up.
Yeah, definitely. I was supposed to say that, so I'm glad you jumped in there because I completely forgot. Yeah, any kind of sharing. The best thing you can do for any podcast, not just us, is just to tell your friends about us, because I mean, there've been so many studies and research done, and word of mouth is the best way. And I think some social media platforms restrict who sees you. I'll say I'm not going to go too much into the conspiracy of that, but I think I feel like they do. So yeah, just if you can tell. If that's the sort of thing you would do anyway, I'm not going to ask people who wouldn't just go like sharing our stuff or sharing anything in general to do it. But yeah, if it's the sort of thing you do, like tweet at us. I think I don't retweet our stuff. I don't know what retweeting does. I don't understand it. Like I saw people retweeting stuff the other day, and I was like, "Well,
I think I'll handle the Twitter. Yeah, I'll handle the Twitter.
Okay, like I was like, why are people retweeting this? Like, anybody who likes Download Festival probably follows Download Festival, so they've seen Download tweet it. Why is this person tweeting it as well? I don't understand. But yeah,
it's a weird cycle of things that sort of Twitter's just like a ball of retweets, quote tweet,
I don't know.
non-quote
I don't
tweet.
know what
Yeah,
that
it's weird.
is.
It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, anything cool, any other good stuff you can do for us. I also hate the whole like and subscribe bullshit on YouTube.
I hate saying that on YouTube, but it's nice when people subscribe.
It is nice.
But you shouldn't have to ask people to.
Yeah.
If people like your stuff, they'll subscribe to your channel.
Yeah.
It's as simple as
Right,
that.
hey YouTubers, I think people know where the comments are now. You don't have to go down in the comments, you fucking assholes. I hate it. I hate that whole. No, I would.
Do you know what? We should probably put these on YouTube
Why?
so people could listen to them.
Okay. Yeah. So comment in the comments down below, please, on YouTube. No. Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can do. That's cool.
Yeah. We should just have it everywhere. Everywhere we possibly can, we'll be there.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. So, yes, there's more stuff I should say. We are on Podbean and Spotify at the moment. I'm working on getting us on Apple Podcasts. I didn't know I could do it from my Windows computer until like yesterday. So I think it's. Oh, and it's. I'm not very good with technology. I might have to hit you up with that one.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, we'll be on more stuff in the next few weeks. Hopefully, we're getting there. Like I said, I'm out.
Yeah, man.
Anything else?
That's it. Yeah, just where we are, man. Go and check it out. If you haven't listened to if you're listening to this, we did. Obviously, this is the second episode. We did the first one last time. So if you like this, go and check that out. Might be some stuff in there. It was a nice little introduction to ourselves. If you haven't listened to it, so yeah, go and check out the first one. If this is the first one you're listening to.
Awesome. Yeah, and I didn't know how to close it out last time, did I? So I've been watching a lot of Pointless recently, so I'm just going to do what they do and say, so that's bye-bye from Simon.
Bye-bye.
And bye-bye from me. Bye-bye.